Hey guys, I'm audible.
Hello, sir. Yes, you are.
Hello.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Let me see who all are joined. All right. Thanks for joining the session. Let's start our session without any further delay. So before I can start anything, any questions you have, guys? If you have, please ask me. If you guys have any question, please feel free to ask. Anything from previous class, guys? Anyone who wanted to just discuss anything, not understand clearly from the past class, please let me know. Because I'm going to discuss very fundamental things. That is because we know that this next generation firewall is going to be known as the stateful firewalls. So what is the stateless firewall and how the stateless firewall was using earlier, and what is difference between the stateful versus stateless firewalls, that we have to discuss. Okay, so you guys have to be uh, very focused during that all discussion, and let me know if you have any confusion, any questions during that discussion. Okay, so why stateful? Why stateless? Anyone have any idea? What is a stateful firewall? What is a stateless firewall?
Yes.
Yes, please go ahead. What is a state?
So,
Yeah.
stateful means it will make a connection table for incoming and outgoing traffic, and
Mhm.
stateless, it will not.
Okay, stateless, it will not. Okay.
Stateless actually it will work based on the ACL
Mm-hmm.
only, but and also it's inspection layer 3 and layer 4 only, but
Mm-hmm.
the stateful firewall it will also including the L7 inspection.
Okay, okay. Please go ahead. Go ahead. Please go ahead. Yeah. What L7?
Like layer 7 also it's provide the layer 7 encryption again.
Okay. All right. That's good. So, right, basically we have to understand we have two types of firewalls. One is the firewall which is the L4 firewall, right? So, what is the L4 firewall? And then another firewall we have, it's not visible, right? Let me show some different color. Give me 1 second. Yeah, probably this is going to be good. Yeah, okay. So basically we have the L4 firewall, and another firewall we have the L7 firewall. So now we have to understand what is the L4 firewall and what is the L7 firewall. So whatever the firewall earlier, old firewall basically, that is known as the legacy firewall. They basically going to process the traffic just based on the your layer 2, layer 3, and layer 4. Means that is going to be your MAC address, the IP address, and the port numbers, right? So this is basically known as the layer 4 firewalls. Means they not have the capability to check anything more than MAC, IP, and ports. And this is the old firewall. Basically, in past, every vendor is using this old firewall. But if you talk about the next generation firewall, new firewall, basically if I talk about the new firewall, this is known as the this basically, sorry, something went wrong. Let me switch. Hold on, guys. There is some issue. Let me switch the board. All right. So basically, what happened? If I go and talk about the, yeah. So L4 firewall, as I mentioned, that layer 2, layer 3, and layer 4. This is going to be just MAC, IP, and port numbers. But when I talk about the next generation firewall, that is my layer 7 firewall, which is known as the next gen firewall, or you can talk about this is the new firewall. This firewall have the more power. It can do more functions in compared to the L4. What they can do that? The first thing they can do the layer 2 processing, that is a MAC. The layer 3 processing, that is your IP. The layer 4, that is your port. The layer 7, that is your applications. These all are going to be covered. Means layer 3, layer 4, layer 7. In OSI, we have the 7 layer, but TCP/IP we just have the 4 layers, right? Or 5 layers in some of the books. So basically, in the all the scenario, whatever the layer 2, layer 3, layer 4, layer 5, layer 6, layer 7 packet is going to become in TCP/IP, it's going to be layer 6, 7, and 5 is going to be one layer. So they all are going to be processed. What else, guys? So packet doesn't only have the MAC, IP input and applications. No, it's not like that. The most important, the packet have the content. What is the content, guys? Anyone know? What is the content? Any idea? What is the content, guys?
Like if there is an email with any attachment, like any type of file included.
Yes. So basically that is your actual data. Content is actually data. So that is your payload. Means anything, even you are typing anything from email, that is going to act as a content. Anything you want to send something, a file attachment, video attachment, any kind of the Excel attachment, any PDF attachment, they all are going to be content. Anything you're doing the interaction with the internet, that is going to be content. Anything if you want to do any certain level of the checks for the upload or download any speed and all, that's also content, but that is a dummy content. So everything which is going to be processed through your firewall, or might be not your firewall, but user is going to be processed to download or upload some data, that is a part of the content. So that is not ever checked by your legacy firewall. This firewall was not checking this kind of the things. So give me 1 second, guys. Let me change some background. I can make a little bit lighter. Yeah. I hope, no, this one is not good. Hold on. Let me try this one. Is it clear to everyone? You able to see my boards, guys? Is it clear to everyone, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Whitish was good.
White is good, right? Which color is good? This one or the black one? This one is good, right?
Light one.
Light one. Okay. This one?
Light, yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So the question, right, we have to be like use the content, that is a payload. Payload is going to be there, and this payload is going to be carry actually your data. So this firewall never going to check your payload. The data was never going to be checked. Along with data, we have the multiple things like the what URL you are accessing, right? Which user from the AD integrations we have, then what user is coming and what he is going to access. And also they are going to check like your machines, right? OS, iOS version, vendor version, lot of information I'll show in the Palo Alto firewalls. So in my this firewall, basically we have the lot of informations. Means they can do the layer 2, they can do the layer 3, they can check the your layer 4, the layer 7, they can check the URL, they can check your device, they can check your users, they can check your like content, etc. That is the power of the next generation firewall. But if you compare with the old firewall, they just limited to layer 2, layer 3, and layer 4. This one is clear? Everyone? Different between next generation firewall and the legacy firewall? I
Yes,
hope it is
clear.
clear, right? Okay. Now let's talk about how the next generation firewall is going to function and how my legacy firewall is going to function. So who all aware about the ACLs? ACLs versus policy. What is ACL? Anyone know? What is ACL? Guys, anyone know what is ACL?
Like if we need to allow specific something like source and destination, we can mention there that allow or deny.
So only allow and deny, that is ACL. Any other definitions, guys? Anyone have? What is ACLs?
Sir, ACL is the access control list by which we can match our interesting traffic and on basis of rules and our requirement, we can permit and deny, or we can influence the traffic.
Match traffic, and based on that, we can permit or deny. That's correct, right? So ACL basically going to be like act as a access control list. Access control list basically, please mute, Karthik, please mute yourself. So access control is basically, it's going to be a process where you are going to be act as a barrier, means anything going to come. Let's suppose this is one of the router or switch. Just think router, or might be this is a switch, or might be this is the firewall. So any traffic coming to me, let's suppose there is traffic coming to me. The traffic have the certain informations. They have the source IP address and they have the destination IP address. Source might be the 1.1.1.1. They want to go 2.2.2.2. The moment this packet is going to hit on this interface might be going to be G0 or gig 0 by 0. This ACLs, whatever you're going to configure, this could be router, switch, and firewall. This ACL can be applied on all three locations. It's not limited to the router, not limited to the switch, not limited to the firewall. It can be any devices. So my traffic is going to hit. The moment traffic is going to hit, this ACL is going to check. Okay. And after checking this ACLs, it is going to decide, do I need to drop this traffic or do I need to allow this traffic? That's only two jobs we have in ACLs. Either it will drop the traffic or it is going to allow the traffic. So any devices which is working in the legacy mode, means old firewall mode, they all use the concept of the ACLs. Means my old firewall, legacy firewall, they use the concept of the ACLs. Means whenever the packet is going to come, it will always going to check, do I need to allow or do I need to drop? If you being the administrator, you say that this source and this destination to be allow, then it will allow. If not, it is going to be drop. So this is how it is known as the packet filtering basis firewalls. Means any packet is coming, it is going to filter, and based on that, it is going to take an actions. Router is going to do the same thing, and your firewall and switch is going to be do the same thing. And what they're going to filter? They can do the filtering on your MAC address. They're going to filter your IP address and based on the port numbers. So you can match the certain port. Means let's suppose one of the user, take an examples. This is my PC A, and this PC connected to the internet. Okay, this is my router. Router having the management IP address. Let's suppose we have the 10.10.10.10/24. This user wanted to access this router via telnet. But while doing the configuration on this router, on this interface, or might be the firewall, I say, means in line VTY, you might be know about line VTY 0 configuration. How many you know line VTY configuration router or switches? Can you just show me your hand, or might be just let me, yes, thumbs up, you know that?
Yes, sir.
It is a very basic things. In line VTY configuration, we allow transport input. We put the command transport input. We put either telnet or we can put SSH or both.
SSH, telnet, or all, none.
Okay. So let's suppose I
Or
allow
both, yeah.
only SSH, not telnet. Now this user want to make the telnet connectivity. Is it possible or not? Is it possible or not? This is not possible, right? Because router under the line VTY, you're not allowing the SSH. This device is not going to allow. But let's suppose there is a second scenario. This router allow even the telnet as well. So this router is allowed. So in that situation, this user is going to be access this router via telnet. But I want, if this user coming to me 192.168.10.0/24, if this user coming to me, please mute guys yourself. I will create one of the access control list. In this access control list, I will say if this 192 subnet coming to my this IP address 10.10.10.10/24 for telnet, you just block it. If any other, let's suppose another user connected here. Let's suppose there is a PC B connected here, but this is having the IP address 172.16.10.0/24. For this, I'm saying it should be allowed. So in that case, you have to apply ACL on this particular interface. This ACL, this router by default have the line VTY configuration. Both services are allowed. But now ACL is going to block this user. ACL is going to block this user and it is going to allow this user. So this is the beauty of the ACLs. So ACL can work on the IP. This telnet and SH are going to be, SH is going to work on the port. How many port? Which port SH work? Anyone know?
22.
And what is the telnet?
23.
23.
Yes. So guys, you should know the port number as well. So by default, this is not going to be allowed unless you're going to configure the ACL. Means ACL is configured, then it's going to be allowed by the administrator. If not configured, then both are going to access both of services. So now at least we have the basic fundamental of ACLs. We have the standard ACL, extended ACLs. We are not going to talk on that. But let's understand how ACL and policy is going to work. So ACL versus policy. Let's take an example. This is my firewall. Okay. This firewall connected with the internet. Okay. Now I have the user here setting. This is my user Alex. This user having the IP address 192.168.10.0/24. Let's suppose 10.10/24 and want to go on the internet, which should be the google.com DNS. You can just think about 8.8.8.8.8. Means he want to go on a DNS, not google.com. DNS is going to be public DNS. This firewall is going to require a policy. This firewall is going to require the ACL. In this ACL, you have to purposefully allow, if this source is coming, might be you have to create this one. This kind of the ACL you have to create. This is my source IP address. This is my destination IP address and action. What action I want to take? This can be your MAC address. You can add more thing. Might be you're going to make the bigger packet. So you can add your SMAC, DMAC, source port, and destination port. The sequence should be first MAC, then IP, then your port number. But I just did the wrong sequence. But leave it. We are not going to talk this. But for understanding, I just make this longer diagram. So my source is going to be this 192.168.10.10. Destination is going to be my 8.8.8.8. An action. What action I want to do that? Let's suppose I want to make the action as a allow. So the moment this user is going to come, firewall is going to, whenever the packet is going to come, very first time, the firewall is going to basically check the ACL, and if ACL is okay, it will send the packet to the destination. This is the very first time. When the second time the same packet is going to come, if the second time the same packet is going to come, it will again check the ACL and then it will send to the internet. If third time again the packet is going to come, again check the ACL, it will going to send to the internet. The fourth time again come, means whatever time the packet is coming to me, it will check my ACLs and then it will send to the internet. Means every time your ACL is going to be hit, the hit count of the ACL is going to be incremental. So it will keep increasing. 200, 201, 202, 203, like that. Means any number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 can increase. So the end summary of this particular diagram is, whenever you want to go on the internet, every time your firewall is going to hit ACL, then it is going to process the packet. This is the one flow. But if I use the next generation firewall, then what is going to happen? This firewall is known as the stateless firewall. Stateless firewall. This legacy firewall, if someone is going to ask what is a stateless firewall, means the firewall doesn't have any session table. They always going to check your like ACLs. Based on checking the ACLs, they're going to process the packet. No state, no cache table is going to maintain. So always my packet is going to send via the state table. Is it clear? What is a stateless firewall and what is the ACL? How it is going to function? Any doubt, guys? Still here? Anyone? Jula, you clear? Ravit? Rajkeshwar?
Yeah, clear, sir.
Abujar, you understand this, man? So I hope everyone understands. Somebody join with the 1+ name. Please let me know your name. I can rename yourself. Okay. Now we have the different set of the communications. Different set of communication. Let's suppose I'm going to talk about the firewall. This time my firewall is going to be not the legacy firewall. This firewall is basically next generation firewall. This next generation firewall can be your Palo Alto, can be your FortiGate, can be your Checkpoint, even Cisco ASA, and whatever the new support and other firewall is coming. They all are going to have the same kind of the principles. All are basically known as the, whatever new firewall coming in the market, they are known as the stateful firewall. Clear? So every new firewall which is coming in the market, they are the stateful firewall. How this is going to stateful firewall? So they not use the ACLs, they use the policy. So limitations of ACLs, ACL can only match layer 2, layer 3 and layer 4. This only information they are going to match. So ACL big brother is a policy. If you go for the policy, it's a big brother of the ACL. Why is a big brother? The small thing done by the ACL, but the policy can do the bigger thing. This policy can match your layer 2 address, can match your layer 3 address, can match your layer 4 address, can match your layer 7 address, can match your any URL, can match your any device ID, user ID, and other things, and then your data payload. So you can think this is going to match more than the ACLs. ACL is just 3 parameters. But here you have, see, we have more than 3 parameters, almost 10+ parameters they are going to check. Most important, content. Means ACL never going to verify your content. But policy have the capability, it can verify your content as well. And if you are not going to verify your content, that means you are inviting your all hackers to come your infrastructures, to take your critical documentation out, project information out, your employee information out, and that lead to be your financial loss. Make sense? So it's very important, guys. Whenever you just have to be design your security infrastructure, your content, whatever transition you are doing, that it should be secure. Let's suppose I am doing my banking transitions, and if it is not secure, then what is going to be happen? Anyone sitting on the internet who can understand how much amount I am withdrawing from the bank, what OTP I am putting on the bank, what username and password I am putting in my bank. So that everything is going to be readable. Everything is going to be readable. So anyone know how my banking transaction is going to be secure? Anyone know? Because in banking, my house doesn't have the firewall. Then how it is going to be secure? Any idea? Anyone? Because we are talking the firewall is going to give the security. But I am in the home, I don't have the firewall, then how my banking transitions, anything I'm sending on the internet, Gmail and all, how it is going to be secure?
Due to encryption
SSL certificate.
Sorry?
and due to encryption and certificate.
What is encryption? What is certificate?
So when we are using any banking website like HTTPS, so S means secure, and it has certain kind of certificates which is responsible to provide security.
That's very good answer. We have two types of protocols. One is the HTTP and HTTPS. What is HTTP full form? Anyone know? HTTP full form and HTTPS full form?
It's a
Hypertext transmission protocol, I think.
Yeah, transfer protocols. And what
Okay.
is S?
S is secure.
Okay, good. And what is the port number for the HTTP? Because we are going to use, guys, so you just have to.
80
And what is for the HTTPS?
443.
443. So guys, what happened? Even your house doesn't have any kind of the firewalls, but you opening any banking website, they are going to redirect on the HTTPS only. They're never going to redirect on the HTTP. Never ever, never ever going to redirect on the HTTP. Because any information you are going to send on the HTTP, that's going to be completely plain text. I mean, this information any website is using, that's the plain text. Plain text means I can show you in the Wireshark as well. Let me show you in the Wireshark. In Wireshark, if I'm going to access any website, whatever information you're putting that, you're going to read on the Wireshark. Mr. Pankaj, what information put it on the websites? What data he downloaded from the website? What credential he put it on the website? Everything is going to be capturable, and you just have to do the packet capture, and someone is going to read every information. So this is not secure. And that's why none of the organizations and even the bankings, government, Gmail, Yahoo, Facebook, Instagram is going to use HTTPS. HTTP. But HTTPS is very, very secure because they use the SSL certificate. This SSL certificate is based on the TLS security. TLS version 1.0, 2.0, 1.2 and 1.3 like that. So these are the advanced. We'll discuss later on how the TLS SSL handshake is going to be happen when we'll move to the decryption chapter of this Palo Alto firewall. But these are the very advanced feature. They use the certificate based authentications, and if that certificate based authentication is not going to be happen, you cannot do any kind of transitions from any websites. Even you're not going to log into the websites. The website is not going to work. Transition username password is not going to work. So the end goal is anything you're doing on the HTTPS that is going to be very much secure. But it is not the always case. Even I am sending the traffic on the HTTPS, but there is a chance via HTTPS my malwares can be entered in my company. My virus can enter in the company. Any vulnerability can enter my company. Any kind of the files, malicious files, any kind of DNS, bad DNS request, it all can be possible. Even my data is secure. But if someone is trying to hack your system, someone is trying to do some manipulation with this HTTPS traffic, it is absolutely possible. Absolutely possible. And because of that, the firewalls come in a picture. Even I am just using the secure communications. Even any kind of the transport media, it's MPLS or internet. But still there is a chance you can download some encrypted file. Let's take an example. You are a user, okay, sitting in office, and I am the hacker. I created one of the website that is the HTTP colon pankaj.com. Let's suppose I create this website. This website is basically one of the bad domain phishing domain. This is just, anyone is going to access this website, their computer is going to download the virus or malware. So what happened? This is the HTTPS website, and let's suppose this is a user sitting here. This is user, request go to here, then after it go to the internet, and this is the ISP, and they reach to this pankaj.com. What is going to be happen, guys? This user is going to access this HTTPS, and the moment the user is going to download, he going to download the virus file in their PC. And I will show you this live. Live means live. I will show you these all live examples, how this all is going to happen in the upcoming sessions. So this user is going to open the https pankaj.com. This request is going to come through the firewall. This request is going to be come through the firewall, and this user downloaded the virus file. The moment he downloaded the virus file, what is going to be happen? Is that PC is going to be impacted or not? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes.
And the moment this PC is going to be impacted, does it going to impact other PCs or not?
Yes, if it is in the same
Because
network.
they will do the lateral movement as well, na? Within the LAN, they are going to move from one PC to another PC, because you are going to talk to your colleagues as well. You're going to share some files, resources, and all viruses are going to be exchanged. And what is the virus, by the way? Anyone know what is a virus?
It's a file.
Sorry?
Like a malicious file which can affect our system.
A virus, just in short, later we'll discuss more about it. Virus is just a bad software, bad file. Okay, that's not good for your computer. So this is their HTTPS traffic, and the firewall basically pass this HTTPS traffic, and you infected with the virus. So what is the benefit of using the firewall? No benefit of using the firewall. Okay. So we'll discuss how it is going to be happen. But let's back to again ACL and policy. So I will come on this all discussion, very interesting discussion later on. But if I talk about the ACL and policy, ACL is basically only going to check your L2, L3 and L4, but policy is going to check everything. So what happened? In case of the ACLs, you required to give the manual entry. Means you have to create ACLs. Create ACL manually. Okay. In case of the policy, also you need to create the policy manually. Create policy manually. That both difference is going to be, means both are having the same kind of, means you have to put the enter here. Also for the ACL all command, policy you have to do via the CLI or GUI, both option is available. ACL is only CLI. Now if I talk about how the operation is going to happen in ACLs, every time when the user are going to the internet, they are hitting to the ACL, then it is going to the internet. But in policy, what is going to happen? They will have one of the policy tables, means they will maintain one of the policy. That policy collection of policy is going to be there. Policy rule is going to be created. Okay. So very first time when the user is going to reach, means this user want to go on the internet very first time. Let me use a different pen. Very first time when the user want to go on the internet, they will go and check your policy. If policy allow, they will go on the internet. This is the first flow. Very first flow, whenever user want to go on the internet, it will come to the policy, then it will go to the internet. Is it clear? NACL was also doing the same thing. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Clear.
But what about the
Yes,
second
yes.
flow? Second flow, what is going to happen? The next generation firewall is going to maintain one of the
Session table.
session table. Okay. And this session table is going to maintain all the entry, whatever the source and destination. So after second, it will never come to check the policy. The packet will come and it will check session, and if session allow, go here. Session allow, go here. Session allow and go here. So the cache table is going to create it, and based on that, your firewall is going to be make the decision. So Mr. Manas, you tell me, what do you understand between now policy and ACL?
So like in ACL, it will check for the ACL for every packet, every incoming packet. But in next generation firewall, it will only first time check the policy. After that, it stored the information in their session table, and based on the session table, it will pass the traffic.
Very good. And Julia, what is different between a stateful and stateless firewall? Julia, I'm just asking Julia, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What is
Hey,
different
so
between-
yes,
Yeah.
I got to tell you that, and I have a question. So Stateful works with basically ACLs and stateless works with next gen, basically.
No,
Right? Now my question.
stateless is basically your
Stateless works the other way around. Stateless work with ACLs and stateful works with next gen. Now my
right.
question is this, and I like the guy that was talking, he explained a little bit. So if we have layer 2, layer 3, layer 4 for stateless, which is checking ACLs, and that is how inbound traffic come from the internet to for data on the end in the corporate environment.
Right.
What is the rationale behind? And I know you have a good answer for that, but I want to make sure for the sake of the class so we understand this. What's the rationale behind next gen? If we already have ACL that is doing checks on L2, L3, L4, why do we need policy? Is it just because of the session table so it doesn't have to check bottleneck, or
That's a
there's
good
more to
question.
it?
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you.
So ACLs, yeah, that's a good question. The rationale behind it, ACL only check layer 2, layer 3, layer 4. You understand the concept of the ACLs? Only MAC address, IP address, and port number. Julie, but what if I want to check the applications? I want my user do not access the Facebook application while sitting in the office. I want my users do not access such website, the bad website sitting in the like office. I don't want my user can access any kind of the music website, YouTube content, any kind of the Netflix website. Does my this ACL can stop it? Julie?
Yeah, thanks. That makes sense. I appreciate that. That makes sense. Yes. So it
So
goes
if
beyond the transport to the layer 7. Yes.
if you want to check beyond layer 4, that ACL is not good enough for you. You have
Right.
to use the next generation firewall where policy come in picture and it's acting as a big brother of the ACL, where
Thank
we
you.
have the more flexibility, more features, and more kind of checks. That's the difference we have. Good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Welcome. So Hemant, if I talk about the basic packet filtering firewalls and the next generation firewall, how do you define in just one or two line?
So basic packet filtering firewall is we can say it is a legacy firewall, and the stateful or the advanced firewall or next generation firewall by which we can not only inspect the packet up to level 4, but also we can inspect the traffic on basis of application, their use, their utilization, their uh, kind of behavior.
Yeah, that's correct. All right. So I hope you guys understand stateful versus stateless. Let's move further and let's understand a little bit more about the other concept. Let me switch to my PC now. Yeah. Okay. Let me share my screen and I will show you something so you guys can understand. Is it my screen visible to everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So in this, we have the firewall. This firewall basically a complete stateful firewall. And this is going to maintain our session table. And based on that session table, we are going to take some certain actions. So how this session table is going to look like, let me show you something. So you guys can a little bit understand. So if I go and log in this firewall first, go down. No, why it's not working? One minute, guys. Sorry, I was putting a wrong password, and because of that, it's not working. So the IP is going to be 66. I can take the CLX as also firewall, and I can go here admin 192.168.1.66. Why it's not? Okay. It's not allowing due to some security region, but here I have the CLI access. So if I go on this particular PC, I will try to access the internet, and then we'll see how it is internet accessible or not. And then I'll try to show you how basically the session table is going to look like. So I will go here, CMD. Oh, there is no IP. Let me see this firewall configure or not. So interface all. Oh, this firewall is completely blank firewall. Sorry. So I cannot show you the session table because there is no configuration at all on this firewall. See, this is a completely blank firewall. But if you want to check the session table, you just have to go and run the command show session all. And there is saying there is no active sessions. So if your firewall is having the configuration and it want to go on the internet, then it is going to show the session. So to go and see what is my session, basically I need to configure the internet. Okay, let me quickly do the internet connectivity. Then I will show you how the session is going to look like for the reference purpose. Guys, one thing you note that if I want to allow the connectivity to the internet to this particular firewall, what is the important thing we require? The three things always we require. The very first thing, if my PC want to go on the internet, that very first thing it's going to require the routing. I will explain later on how it is going to happen in depth, how routing is going to work. The second is going to require the NAT policy. And the third is going to require the security policy. So right now we are not touched anything about the routing. We not touched anything about the NAT. We not touched anything about the security policy. But we have to do the depth understanding about these all three parameters. And we have to understand what is routing, what is a NAT policy, what is security policy. And based on that, we have to understand how my firewall can influence the traffic. Either it's to allow the content, deny the content, allow the IP, deny the IP, and what are the port number. But for time being, what I'm going to do that, you can see this interface is basically connecting to the internet. So I need to require one of the public IP address here. Okay, just understand how the lab is going to look like. This is a public IP address. Now this is my one of the interface which is connecting to my DMZ zone. So one IP is going to required on this interface. This is my another IP address which is connecting to this firewall. This required another IP address. This PC basically management PC. I will explain how this management PC is going to use for your lab purpose. In next class, I will explain. But for time being, what is going to happen? I'm just going to configure one IP address on this interface. That's 172.16.10.1. The switch doesn't require any configuration. By default, all ports are going to stay in the same VLAN. What is the default VLAN, guys, on the switch? If I'm not going to do any configuration, anyone know?
VLAN 1.
1.
Yes, VLAN 1. So they're going to stay in the VLAN 1, and this switch is going to be just allow the communication if anything coming from the switch. Okay, I mean the NPC. And for PC, hold on. On PC, I will just assign the IP address. So that is also going to be communicate to the gateway. So let me do one by one. So first of all, I'll go on the PC and I'll assign the IP address. How? Let me just maximize the PC. Basically, I will make the PC plus resolutions. Keep changes. And you just go in the network properties, and after that you just change your property. One why DNS? Gateway is this firewall IP address. DNS is also going to require. Why DNS? DNS is basically going to give your internet connectivity, internet reachability. So that's why I require the DNS as well. So 11111. This is going to be DNS. Click OK. Now it's done. Now, how I can assign the firewall IP address? Don't worry, I will explain from the scratch because we have to start the module from zero. But I'm just showing you how session table is going to look like. So simply I'll go on this interface, Ethernet 1/2, and assign the IP address. Let me do that. So you don't be like confused why I'm doing this all. I'm just quickly completing this lab. I'll explain what is a virtual router as well. What is a security zone as well. So let's suppose this is my trust. And I'm going to assign the IP address 172.16.10.1/24. There is a concept of management interface. I will explain later on what is a management interface and why it is going to require. But you guys just note these all things in your dictionary or diary. I'm just allowing the management interface, virtual router, why these all are going to be used. I'll configure this WAN interface as well. 1 by 1 is a WAN interface, which is connecting to my internet. This is also going to be under default router, and security zone is going to be untrust. Okay. And I will just assign the IP address. How to get the free IP address for this firewall? I can go in the firewall simply, and this firewall have the show interface management. You check this firewall have this IP address. So you just try to ping any free IP address from this range 192.168.1.0/24. Random any IP address, ping host. I will try to ping 192.168. 1. Let's suppose 56. If it is pingable, then it is going to create problem for you. If it is not pingable, then it is good. Let's suppose that if I going to ping the might be 100, it is going to be reachable. So I cannot assign this IP address. But 56, it's not pingable, so I can assign to my WAN interface. So I will explain this also later on how it is going to happen. So I will go here and I will give this 56/24 because our objective is to just complete the session table mapping. And I will just show the how session is going to look like. Now the IP is configured. The second thing, I need to define the routing. I need to go on the internet. So I basically require the routing. So I will go default router, static, and this is going to be default route, and this is going to be 0.0.0, and this is going to be my one interface 192.168.1.1. This is going to be there, and click OK. What next, guys? After that, we have to go on my policy, and I'll create the security policy. So here we have the LAN to internet policy. And I will use the source. There is a zone. You don't know what is the meaning of zone. Hold on your thoughts. You just follow me for time being. I will explain everything for you. Don't worry. Any I'll leave it. But first see how session is going to look like. NAT I'll configure. I'll go here. And SNAT I will configure. I will explain what is the SNAT as well. What is the source NAT and why you need it. So trust, it is going to be untrust. Source 172.16.10.0/24. Translated is going to be happen on the PAT. I'll go and use the 1 by 1 interface. And I'll click OK. Done. I will commit. After commit, probably my PC should start pinging the internet. Right now, it is not have any connectivity, even the gateway. If you go and check here IP config, now we have this particular IP, but if I try to go and ping the gateway as well, it is not going to ping. This is not pingable. So I'll go here and commit, and we'll see that how it is reachable or not. And then I will show you how session is going to build and what is the default session timeout settings we have. If I want to increase the session timeout settings, then what is the parameter I need to change, where the parameter I need to change, and I want to decrease the session out timing for TCP, UDP, ICMP, the all where I can change that parameter. Because sometime in interview also they are going to ask how many means basically what is duration of the sessions, how long session is going to be stay in the session table, and if I want to modify, can I modify? So you should know the answer all the questions. So let's wait and see it start pinging to gateway. And if I go on the internet, if I try to go on the internet, that's the 1.1.1. It should also ping. Let's wait. First packet ARP resolution, but you can see if I go here and ping the google.com, it's pinging. I have the reachability on the internet. If I go here and ping the 1.1, it's going to ping. If I go here CMD and try to ping my facebook.com, it is going to ping. Sorry. And if I go here, if I try to CMD and try to ping 8.8, why I'm pinging that much? Because I want to get a lot of session tables. And I go and access the internet. The more I access the internet connectivity, the more session is going to be created. So I can show the bigger session table for you all. So I will go here and run like google.com. And it is going to be open my, and even I can log in now firewall from this particular locations. If I go my IP address, my LAN IP address, because I allow the connectivity from there also, so I can go here and log in my firewall as well. So from here also I can show you the session. Let me make the bigger size of this particular session table. Okay. Is it visible or shall I make the more bigger? Let me make the 14. Now, this is CLI of the Palo Alto firewall. I was trying to take CLI from here, but somehow it is not working. Let me try. It's not working for some reason. So I will go here and run the command show session all and see. This is the session table. And this session table is going to maintain with the Palo Alto firewall. You access in the google.com, MS Update, Ping, SSL, lot of session, MS Update. We have the web browsing, Ping, and they all session are active. And you can see they have some flags as well. So you guys don't know what is the flags. You can see flag. This flag is basically represent the NATed source address. This is representing NATed source address. And this is my source address going to this destination. What is my NATed IP address? This all is showing. So this is how you can check the session table. This session is not going to build on the my legacy firewall. They just have the all entry. And what is the policy I have? So this is policy. The policy I created, just one policy. This one policy is creating that much sessions because the user is trying to access too many websites, and every website means every connections, every URL, every ICMP packet creating the individual sessions. So now the question is, how long this session is going to be active? Anyone know? How long? Is it going to be inactive? It is going to be disappear from session table, or it is going to be always active? Any good answers? Any good guess? Basically not good answers, because I know you guys are here for learning, so probably don't know. But any good guess? How long it is going to be there?
There should be some time limit to be settled, to be mentioned.
Any idea how long? Okay, let me show you.
Maybe in a days.
No,
300. What was the question? Sorry.
The question is, you can see the session table has been created, right? Now the question is, if your interviewer is going to ask how long this session is going to be active,
Yeah,
or
the exact question was occurs in my mind. I just
No,
want to ask.
initially
sorry,
you said no,
Maybe
sir.
5 minutes. Actually, in router or switch, a MAC cable concept I know. So 300 seconds or 5 minutes, it will keep the MAC at entry. But for this, really, I don't know.
okay, no problem. I'm here to help you. Okay, so don't follow me. Just go and see. You just go in devices. You're in dashboard. Go in devices. After going devices, go in the setup. In setup, you have this. Sorry, where it is? Somewhere. This is session. You can see. Click on the session. Here is the all session timeout data. It's coming up. Wait. So you are going to find any TCP session. It's going to be 3600 seconds. How many minutes is going to be happen? 36 seconds.
6 hours.
60 minutes. 60 minutes.
1 hour, right?
Oh,
Makes
1 hour.
sense?
Okay.
So any sessions, let's suppose I initiate. Let's understand how it is going to work. I'm the user. I initiated the ping. This user. If this user initiated the ping, the session is going to be there till next hour. Okay. But if after 10 minutes again he initiated the ping, then what is going to be happen? Again, their timing is going to be increased. So the last moment when he stopped the ping, the last session is only going to be stay till next 1 more hour. If there is no any activity in 60 seconds, 60 minutes, then next session is going to be tear down. That for TCP. Clear? TCP.
Sir, it is default by default or
Yes,
manually we can change?
we can change. You can go here. This is default, right? But if you want to make the session, you want to make for the 7200 seconds, then you can do that.
Mm.
Now, how long? 2 hours. If you want to put like more than this, you can just put the enter here.
So by default, it is showing 30 seconds, right?
Yes, yes. Maximum, I believe
On
you
the
can
top.
put this. Yeah, maximum value you can put, I believe, this one. This number of
Mm.
maximum. Okay. So by default, it's going to be 3600 seconds. If any kind of session for the UDP, it's going to be discard is going to be happen after 60 seconds. ICMP only for 66 seconds. Any ICMP packet, it's going to be just stay for 6 seconds. It's not more than the 6 seconds. So TCP only going to be stay for the long period of time.
So
And
what is default first one?
sorry?
The top one, default.
Default basically, I need to check. I just need to check what is the meaning of default. I never noticed this one because I always check.
Only for the TCP, like we can, like make the session like highest session time
No, no, you
or
can change.
like
You can change any everything. You can change. You can see.
okay. No, we can change, but for the maximum time, like only for the TCP or the
Yes, yes.
maximum time limit is
Only
for
for
uh,
TCP basically we play around. Okay.
and
Okay, so default here you can see default is maximum length of time in seconds that non-TCP UDP traffic. Means there is a traffic if non-TCP, non-UDP, non-SA, SCTP, non-ICMP session can be open without any response. Range is this one. So the traffic which is unknown. That's a good question by the way. I never noticed that. Okay. Default is if there is no TCP, no UDP, no SCTP, no ICMP. So by default it is going to be 30 seconds. That kind of traffic is going to be open. If no response is going to become, that is going to be tear down the connections. Here you can see TCP maximum length of the TCP sessions remain open without response after TCP session has been established state. After the handshake, what is the handshake? Three-way handshake is completed. That is the 3600 seconds, and maximum you can group these values 50, 999, and similarly you have the ICMP for 6 seconds, but you can increase that also. Clear? So I hope you guys are clear about the sessions. No doubt, no questions, no any confusions. If I have, let me know. Bring on the table, I will try to make you happy in terms of the concepts. If I don't know, I will try to figure it out. Clear, guys?
So, so
Guys, I have a
that sheet
question.
inside the firewall itself, or you bring it from somewhere else?
Which this file?
Yeah.
If yeah, that's a very good question. So guys, any time you stuck anywhere, you don't know the meaning of anything. Okay, the beauty of the Palo Alto firewall and the FortiGate firewall. Let's suppose I'm in this tab. I don't know meaning of this default. In live example, there is a question mark. Okay, click on the question mark. You are going to read out on this file and just click on the tab where this is coming. Click on that and you are just referring the session timeout. You click on that, you're going to get all info for the session timeout. So you're going to get all information per session type. Why this value? What is the meaning of that? Similarly, if you are in the dashboard, not dashboard, let me go in the policy. You are in the policy and you don't know what is the security policy and what is this value, what zone and address. You click on here. It is going to open this file again and see I'm in the policy directly. Now click on the policy. It will explain what is the policy, what is the meaning of general and all destinations. Everything is written here. So if you are the very passionate engineer and you feel I can learn everything myself, this is the best way to start your journey. Don't go for any paid service. But I know it's very difficult to do the self learning unless and until somebody is sitting behind of you and going to give the directions, mentorship. But everything is written. But sometimes it's very confusing to understand. So that's I'm here. I will always, but documentation is going to be very good for the Palo Alto and FortiGate point of view, both. Okay, so we understand this one. Now what I can explain. Do you guys have time? Everyone have time today? Next 15-20 minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I have.
Okay, that's fine. Now let me stop this recording and let's have a discussion about. Okay. So let's discuss about in Palo Alto Firewall, one concept we have, that is the zone. So we have to understand what is the zone in the Palo Alto Firewall, because we have to understand. Anyone know what is zone in Palo Alto Firewall?
Zone are different kind of boundaries where we can put our devices on the basis of their security levels.
Yeah, that's correct. Any other answers? What is zone in Palo Alto Firewall?
Like we can make a zone like trust zone, DMZ zone, untrust, like whatever
Yeah,
the
that's
traffic.
correct. All right. So zone is nothing, right? If you want to create the logical boundary, logical segregations, let's suppose, take an example. This is my firewall. Okay. This firewall have two interface. One is this one, another is this one. This is my Ethernet 0x1 and this is my Ethernet 0x0. There is one PC connected here. This PC have the IP address 10.10.10/24. Another PC we have PC, let's suppose B, this is a PC A. This also have the IP address 10.10.11/24. Are they going to belong in the same broadcast domain or not? Are they in the same broadcast domain? Come on, guys. Yes, no, maybe.
Yes.
Because they have the same subnet, right?
Subnet.
So this
Yes.
firewall is basically deployed in the layer 2 mode. Layer 2 mode means it's capable to do the switching, right? So if normal switch is going to happen instead of the firewall, right? If normal switch is going to happen and this is going to make as an access port and this is also going to make as an access port, will they going to communicate each other or not? If they are the normal switch and both are the access port and I configure the IP address here, I configure the IP address here, I configure, let's suppose, VLAN 10 here and allow the
Yeah.
VLAN 10 on this port and this port, will they going to communicate or not?
Yes, yes, they
Yes,
will.
yes.
They will communicate, right?
Yes.
But if I deploy my Palo Alto firewall in the layer 2 mode only, but this is not the switch. In that situation, Palo Alto have the capability to make the restrictions even they are going to belong in the same subnet. How? They use the concept of the zone, that is going to logical segregation of your physical interface or logical interface. Means any interfaces you have, what kind of interfaces you are going to find on the Palo Alto firewall? You are going to find the interface as a layer 2 interface, as a layer 3 interface, as a loopback interface, as a tunnel interface, right? You are going to find as a VLAN interface. You are going to find as a tap interface. You are going to find as a V-wire interface. You are going to find as a sub interface. And we are going to find as a HA interface. So on Palo Alto firewall, we are going to find these all interfaces. But out of these all interfaces, one interface HA. This not required zone. Zone config. But if I talk about the layer 2, it's required a zone. Layer 3, it's mandatory to give the zone configuration. Loopback, mandatory to give the zone. Tunnel, mandatory. VLAN, mandatory. We have the tap interface, mandatory. V-wire, mandatory. Sub interface, mandatory. Means if you are going to create the interfaces, every interfaces you must have to give the zone. If you are not going to give a zone, the firewall is not going to work for you for the configuration point of view. Means the interface is not going to active for you because you have to do the logical segregations. Means any physical interface you have, any logical interface you have, they all require the zone to make the firewall as a different isolations, a virtual group where it might be communicate, it might not be going to communicate. So how it is going to happen? Let's suppose this is my layer 2. These are the access port. These two are the access port. This is one access port. This is one access port. They are the same VLAN. But if I configure this as a PC A zone and this will configure as a PC B zone, the name are different or name are same?
Difference.
In that situation, they will never going to talk. They will never going to talk. If I put the different zone on the interfaces, they will never going to talk. But the moment I'll put this also as a PC1 zone, then the zone are same or different? Same, right?
Same. Yes.
Then in that case, they are going to easily communicate to each other. So even I have the same subnet, same kind of the IP address, same kind of the broadcast domain, still my firewall will create one logical boundary. You cannot communicate if your zone are going to be changed. Make sense, guys, everyone? Clear? Till here? Any doubt till
Yes,
here?
sir.
Okay. Now let me make another example. This is my firewall. This firewall have the interface, multiple interface. Okay. This is my going to act as a Ethernet 0 by 0. This is going to be Ethernet 0 by 1. This is going to be Ethernet 0 by 2. This is going to be Ethernet 0 by 3. This is going to be Ethernet 0 by 4. Ethernet 0 by 5. These all interfaces I have. And I can assign the IP address. Might be this is going to be 1.1.1.1. This is going to be 2. Just take an example. Don't go why I'm putting in this way. Just subnet I'm giving /24 or, and this is going to be 4.4.4.4/24, 5.5.5./24, 6.6.6.6/24. These all are also 24. Now, if I am going to use, this is for my HR zone, and this is also my HR zone. This is going to my IT zone. This is also my IT zone. I can use the different color. Now this is my sales zone. Sales zone. Now you guys tell me, does this sales can talk to this sales?
Yes,
Does this
yes.
sales to talk this sales? Why? Why they can
Ye-
talk?
Because they are in equal or same zone.
Same zone. Yeah. So if my zone are same, there is two concept. One is the intra zone and one is the inter zone. Intra zone means that is known as the same zone. Okay. Inter zone that is known as the
Different zone.
different zone. By default in Palo Alto, if anything in the same zone, the traffic is going to be allowed. If you are going to talk in different zone, your traffic is going to be
Daily.
blocked. Is it clear? Or you can say deny or permit. So intra zone basically it's going to be allow and it is going to be deny. This is clear. Shall I move
Yes.
next? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now
And this is
before-
default feature, right?
this is the by default feature of the Palo Alto firewall.
Oh.
This is the by
Even on
default.
different subnets,
Sorry.
even on different subnets with intra,
Even
even on
see,
different
we have different
subnets.
subnet. We have different subnet. I'm coming. This sales. We have the different subnet. This is 333. This is the 5444. But still they can talk. How they can talk? That's a good question. So before this policy is going to hit, what is the very first thing always going to be checked? I mentioned just now before starting this session, means before this zone concept, when I was just explaining the lab topology, I mentioned three things. Who all remember that three things? What is the very first thing?
Routing,
Yes, yes.
security policy, and net policy.
So that very important.
Routing.
Routing. The second, note it down, guys. NAT policy. Second, and third is the security policy. So if you are in a different subnet, your routing must be there. If there is no routing, you cannot talk. Simple. Even your zone are same. Jule, make sense to you?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Even we have the different subnet, your routing first be there. And this policy intra-zone is configured inside of the Palo Alto firewall. Let me show you how it is. It's not something magic is going to happen. In build in Palo Alto firewall, we have this policy in build. If I go here, you see this policy. You guys are able to see my screen or not?
Yes.
So there is an intra-zone policy. This intra-zone policy is saying everything should be allowed. So you purposefully created, not me, not you, the Palo Alto purposefully created. If your routing is matching between two different subnet and they are going to belong in the same zone, just allow the communications. That's it. By using this intra-zone policy. Means you don't have to configure any policy. If NAT needed, then definitely NAT is going to require. If NAT needed, that different story is going to be happen. I will talk how NAT is going to happen. But if it is same zone, we have the routing, make it happen. But if there is intra zone, the different zone we have, even we have a routing, does it going to allow or not? Even we have routing, the traffic is going to be denied. Make sense? Yes, no, maybe guys, come on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So inter zone is basically allowing.
Yes, sir.
Intra zone is
But
basically
in our topology, we are
Yeah, please tell me. Yeah, in our topology.
one question. So in
Please.
our topology, we are considering that routing and NAT are there, and
Okay.
security policy.
Right.
we are considering these things, right? To say that it will communicate because they are in same zone.
They are in the same zone, then they are going to allow only routing is going to required. If not applicable, then only routing and security policy. So security policy already we have it in the Palo Alto firewall as an intra zone, and that is saying you allow the traffic. So routing must be matched, then after your traffic is going to be allowed. Still doubt, Hemant, or clear to you? Please let me know.
No,
Hemant?
it's clear, but my doubt is only that we are defining here two subnets 333 and 444. So they are belongs to same zone. So we are considering that routing is enabled on the
Yes.
firewall.
Yes. If
That's why
say,
we are saying
yeah,
that.
see, they are
Okay.
directly connected, na? Directly connected subnet. So connected route is going to be there, and the routing is going to. I will show in the lab also how it is going to happen. Okay. So routing is
Yeah,
going to be
sure.
by default enable. Then they are going to talk. If there is no routing, if this subnet cannot reach to this subnet, they don't know how to reach this subnet. There is no routing. Zone is also not going to help you. If I want to talk, Mr. Ravit, you tell me, if I want to talk sales to this HR zone, is it going to talk or not? By considering this topology, Ravit, I believe, not Ravit. You there, Ravit? Abujar, is it going to talk or not? If this sales want to
Yes,
talk
yes.
to, is it going to talk? This
Yes,
sales,
if the routing is there in the same zone, it can happen, right?
this HR
Communication
zone, this
can.
sales zone, na?
Yes, if the routing is there, it can.
No, you don't get it. Who understand? Will it talk or not? I'm talking about
No,
sales
No,
to
they
the
sir.
will
HR.
not.
It, it will not talk.
Not talk because the zone are different, man. See? And what is that? This is inter zone. Inter zone is block everything by default. Abu, you're not focusing?
If it is in the different zone, then it will not.
Yes, definitely. If there is a different zone, then it is not, right? If ITHR want to talk, will it talk or not? ITHR, Chandan?
No,
No, sir.
Mr. No.
no, no.
So now the question is how I can make the communication. To make them communication, the zone is going to create logical boundary, and by default we have two policy, that is the intra zone and one is the inter zone. One is saying you allow everything and another is saying you deny everything. So now I have a requirement, HR need to talk with sales. Then how I can do that? I need to create one policy on top of this policy. Means I put the policy here. Let's suppose 0, or I'm just giving an example. Let's suppose 0. And here I'm going to say, hey, HR, sales, traffic allowed. Then your traffic is going to hit before this one, and then it is going to allow. It will never going to hit. So there is a concept how ACL
So implicit deny.
versus policy work. And this we have to discuss in next class. Just remind me. Okay, guys? How ACL and policy work. How the top to bottom filtering is going to happen. We'll discuss in next class. Not today because it's going to be too late then. So if you want to allow anything, let's suppose I have the same zone. Traffic. This my -1, let's suppose. HR want to block HR traffic. Then I need to create one policy here. I need to block. Then it is going to block, else it will allow. So if you have a requirement to block HR to HR, same zone traffic, you have to create the policy. If you want to allow same zone traffic, you don't require any policy. But to block, you need to create the block. If you want to allow the different zone traffic, you need to create the policy by intra-zone allow traffic. I hope it is clear to everyone what is the meaning of zone and what is the significant role of zone.
So
Yes, sir.
basically we
Sir,
have implicit allow on intra and implicit deny on inter.
Right. Absolutely. Implicit
one
allow
question.
for.
One question, sir.
Yes, please, Hemant.
Okay. So implicit deny should always be on the downside.
Yes. Always be downside, implicit deny. Okay, so
Okay.
let's discuss about how the ACL policy top to bottom is going to work in next class. Monday we'll connect again. Initially we are going a little bit slow, but once we have the good foundation from next week onward, we'll go 5 days full classes. But right now we are doing the only 3 days classes. So just follow me and just build the good concept. Then I will just go and do the lot of configurations once we have the very good concept, because these are the very important to you crack the interview and understand the fundamental of the firewalls. I can cover every syllabus. There is no like point to covering all syllabus without this all knowledge. These are the very important guys. Okay.
Yeah, I'm having a small question on zones. Like, in what scenario are we using or are we creating these zones? And we, yeah, that's only the question.
So in every scenario, as I mentioned that whatever the interface in Palo Alto we have, except HA Abuja, you must have to create the zone. Without zone creation, you cannot do the configuration of the Palo Alto firewall, either layer 2, layer 3, or virtual interface like tunnel, VLANs, sub interfaces, or any physical interfaces. HA not required zone. So zone is the mandatory parameter for the Palo Alto firewall. It's going to give the logical barrier to separate your traffic. So it's a mandatory.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
got it. Good. Thank
And
you.
the reason for excluding HA is due to the firewall should have be in sync.
No, HA is different concept. HA doesn't have any kind of logical barrier. Even HA interface, there is a control interface. One is the like data interface. Data interface even without going to work IP and all, right? IP will not required. So HA is just to sync the firewall. They're not sending the traffic, but they have to sync their control message and databases. So why you require the zone again? New barrier for them. It's not mandatory. So it's
The
just going
same
to
thing.
be,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just going to be talk and there is no logical barrier. Else you have to create the policy for the HA as well. So again, it's going to be complexity. So they make the very simple. If HA, just connect the cables, no zone, no policy needed. You just assign the IP address, give the interface connection, make them up, and your work has been done.
Let's say we have a two firewalls, and
Mhm.
in our two firewalls also we have to create these zones, or only HA will take care if we are creating it.
No, if your firewalls,
No.
let's suppose I have a firewall, this is the PA01, okay,
Mm,
and this is my PA02. So if you build HA first, right? You make the HA.
yes.
So they are already in sync. So whatever the
Yes.
configuration you are doing here on this firewall primary, let's create the zone here. It will by default going to get a zone here as well. If you're creating a
Great.
policy here, it will by default policy is going to be updated here as well.
After commit only, right?
After commit, whatever configuration going to do that, it will sync to the secondary file. But HA should be up and working in that situation.
Great. So if you are alternately allowing the changes in the PA2, then also it will get changed into the PA1 as well.
Right.
Great. Thanks.
It will sync. Okay,
Thank you.
so thank you guys. I believe we are good for today. Thank you so much. See you again and Monday. Bye bye. Happy weekend.